Welcome, guys, to the first episode of the What's Happening podcast. My new, let's call it a midlife crisis hobby. This has taken a long time to set up, a long time to grow a set of balls and actually do. A few weeks back, I sat and wrote out an opening or an intro. So, before we get into the meat and bones of it, let's hear this piece of shit intro. Podcasting from Londonderry, Stroke City, the Maitland City, whatever, the town with too many names. This is the What's Happening podcast. Not too shabby. The podcast about anything, everything, what's been going on in my life and yours. And I am your host, Craig Mitchell. Too cheesy? Okay. And then, I didn't even realise I wrote half this. Okay, so this is my first podcast, so if you're new to the podcast world, then welcome. We're both in at the bottom. If you've heard a few podcasts in your time, you may recognise some of the ways I'm doing this or some of the sort of content. But as a massive podcast fan myself, I'm sure I will be guilty of using a few tried and tested methods until I find my footing and this becomes a more natural thing. So basically, I haven't got a fucking clue what I'm doing. I might be copying other people's podcasts for a while and see how it goes. There's more to this. I've never sat and put my thoughts on record before, so this will be a journey. Mistakes will be made, tears will be shed. You get the idea. Fuck's sake, I must have been drinking that night. I'm learning as I go along, so if you find what I say entertaining, then please subscribe, follow, email, Facebook, the whole 9 yards. Please enjoy episode 1. Fuck. So there you go. My name is Craig, as I mentioned. This is my midlife crisis hobby. This is going to be probably a short first episode, but just a sort of intro as to who I am and what's sort of going to come in the next, hopefully, few hundred episodes. As I said there, I think this may be the only podcast from Londonderry, Stroke City, Maitland City, whatever. I know I might be wrong on that, but at the minute, I'm going to claim that. So this podcast is just going to be the ins and outs of me, my life, the good, the bad, the ugly, my current projects that are gaming, video related, this podcast, my woodworking little side project that I've started. I will leave links to all this stuff in the description on the YouTube channel and whenever we get this up on the iTunes and stuff. It's this lockdown has just caused mayhem with everybody. This is my new hobby. This is now what I want to do. I've wanted to do this for a long time, to be fair. I've been listening to podcasts for over 10 years. Lots of shit, but lots of really good stuff as well. Like if you're into podcasts, you'll know Joe Rogan, all the big stand-up comedians in America have all got massive podcasts. That's mostly what I listen to. Anyone in the UK would probably listen to Ricky Gervais maybe at the start. Whenever that's a long time ago, actually. It's probably 8 or 9 years ago. He would have been the biggest one at the time. But I mean, anybody and their fucking sister has a podcast at the minute, so I thought I'd give it a dabble. At the minute, this is just kind of an intro. The woodworking side of things is just born out of this pandemic. The panic at the start led to boredom, led to basically because nobody could come around, or you rely on your parents for a lot of things, so basically I could get the old man to do things. You would have put up shelves or whatever. I'm sure a lot of people my age still do that, so I took a lot of that on board and just embraced it and started loving using drills and hammers and nails and whatever. I've made a few things. It's something I want to start doing, start making things, possibly selling stuff. Like bottle openers and little arty display things. Like at the minute I'm working on a key ring sort of holder for your entryway of your house, but it's like umbrellas. So the wee hook of the umbrella will hold your keys. Got them on eBay. It's class. So that's one project I'm doing at the minute, and then there's a few things around the house. We've got a pine kitchen unit that I'm currently in the process of sanding, staining. We basically cut the thing in half, turned it from a tall unit which wasn't really being used properly into a nice little small sort of side kitchen sideboard kind of thing. And that is another project. So the podcast side of things is just going to be me talking, hopefully just being able to talk shit for a while. Eventually get more and more and more talking about gaming, life. I've got a 5-year-old son, so there's going to be a lot of stories with that. You know, Christmas is coming up, Halloween's coming up. And if anyone there is listening to this, Halloween's essentially been cancelled because the fireworks, the world famous fireworks, have been cancelled due to the coronavirus current pandemic. The town itself went from being one of the least sort of infected areas to the most infected in the UK, I think, at one stage. So it's gone from sunshine and rainbows to fucking 28 days later in the space of no time. People just don't give a shit. I mean, the missus were out today. The town is essentially a ghost town. You know, Foyleside, Saturday morning, Foyleside, 10 o'clock in the morning, nobody in it. You know, I think that's a good sign, but because that means Arlene and what's her face, you know, they put some more restrictions on the area, and I think people have taken heed and have panicked a little bit. We see when we go to Tesco's and whatnot that, you know, you can't get your shit roll anymore again. The pastas and stuff are starting to run out. You know, people are starting to panic again. So hopefully that saves lives in a way. But I'm hoping this podcast is just a way of me just sort of, in a way, you know, gain confidence. Gain confidence at this. This took fucking months. I mean, we're 194 days into this pandemic. I think I have this mic 180 of those days. That was meant to be the hobby, the thing I was going to do. It was going to be out every week, or talking about, it's the dog moving there, if anybody heard that. You know, talking about whatever. But it's hard work. It's scary shit. I'm sitting talking in front of a mic and a camera, so here we are. I've got some sort of semi-professional setup, lights, mic, you know, but the desk, you know, we're getting there for our first episode. It's looking okay. So we're not really gonna go into, this isn't gonna be an hour long episode. You know, I'm just looking here. The big thing at the minute is Donald Trump. Donald Trump has corona. I mean, it was fucking inevitable. And it is no harm. You don't want to see them putting a man die. He's a fucking dick. But the shite that was coming out of his mouth for these last 6 months, inject fucking bleach to fix it. No, he had it coming, and I hope he suffers a bit. And you don't want to see the man die, but there's too many people dead from this already. But I mean, what a fucking death, seriously. But we'll not dip into that sort of content for this first episode. We just wanted to get something out there, and we'll start getting these up every week. We'll start recording more often. There's a Facebook page for my woodworking channel. No, it's a bit of a mouthful. Do you remember when those of a certain age, do you remember when email was a new thing? And I gotta make up my email address, what's it gonna be? Well, I went through quite a few dodgy ones at the very start, back when it was Ask Jeeves and what was the other one? AOL and whatever else, the very start. Watwudscoobydo was the thing that stuck for me, and like I'm 35 now. That's been with me for 20 years in various usernames and emails and whatever else. So I am Watwudscoobydo. And I'm on Facebook. It's What Would Scooby-Doo Wood Workshop. Too many W's, you know. What a fucking mouthful. There's there's 4 W's. Too many W's. Assuming it's just called Too Many W's Workshop. It's the same on Instagram. I think it's Watwood Shop on Instagram. Yeah. Watwood, W-A-T, by the way. Watwood Workshop on Instagram. Basically posting up progress of projects and tools and stuff that I'm getting, and just day-to-day sort of workshop stuff. You know, you can get me on Instagram or Facebook. If anybody I know is watching this, hit me up on my own Facebook page. But basically, that's what this first episode is. It's just sort of a rundown of what it's going to be, and then on episode 2, hopefully we'll get the missus on to talk and get a bit more of a longer form going forward. So hit us up on all the socials. Just send me any messages, any questions about anything, and sorry, before I forget, YouTube, Watwudscoobydo on YouTube, and you'll get some family stuff on there as well, some family videos and vlogs and stuff. So thanks for watching, listening. This was a very brief episode 1. Stressful episode 1, having to get all this shit set up, going through multiple cameras, but thanks for listening, and hit that subscribe button. See you in the next one.